want to be known as the warm-up guy or that all I do. There's guys that do the big sitcoms, and they're they're a juggler, they're a hypnotist, they do all that sort of thing, and they're great, and they really probably connect with the church groups and the audiences and the middle America groups. I have a little more of an edge, a little more of a in-the-moment comedy-based energy, which works good on talk shows, I think. So a sitcom, where you got to do things over and over and over again, and you got these groups, and they're there, and they're stuck. It's like you got to get them to dance, and you're throwing out candy, and I'm not great at that necessarily. I'm good at the hour-long show, half-hour show, rock this thing out, crank it, respectable laughs, have the crowd be in a moment, don't just be a body. You're not, I can really, I can look at an audience and really tell where they're from, what their political affiliations are. You look at their body language. So my whole thing is here, especially at Chelsea, because we have so many comedians on the show. It's not like we have an actor and a music guest. We have comedians, and they're doing comedy. It's not stand-up, but they're doing the round table. So I really owe it to the comedians, and I owe it to comedy to, give them an audience that isn't bullshitting them. Because I've done stand-up on several TV shows, and there's nothing worse than a paid audience, these frickin' fake audiences. And I'm not saying we get that at Chelsea. We don't. We get real audiences at Chelsea. But you want them to be stand-up ready, Chelsea, that's the one thing. The audiences are really good. They're there to see Chelsea. They're there to see Chewy. They're there to see the round table. But you got to push them. You got to push it. And me as a comedian and connecting with the comedians and also being on the show, Chelsea is a comedian as well, it's like I really want to make it real and not just be hooting and hollering and fake clap and fake laugh. It's like I always say to the audience, we don't need to fake it. We need to find the funny and be supportive, but these are fun. These are talented people. So we don't need to patronize them and be phony. So let's find the funny, be supportive, sound like a good audience, and work together. So that's kind of like my mantra there. And I got a good gig. I'm lucky. And they let me do my own thing. Like they pretty much let me come in there, do my stuff, and I stayed throughout the whole taping and through the end. And it's been a good gig. Chelsea's been nothing but, great things to say.
I attest to the fact that it's not a paid audience, that everybody's excited to be there. I went to 2 tapings back to back, and they had to turn people away. And if they're so excited to be out, being able to be there and be in that audience, it's really great. I kind of wish that there was at least a couple more rows in there, because I think that they could fill them easily. But
oh yeah.
But I wanted to can you tell us your first impressions of Chelsea when you first met her?
Good comedian. She's funny, She's kind of like she's like one of the guys type of thing. And she's done, I've seen her, we've done open mics together. We were doing small dumpy rooms and all that sort of thing. So that's why I think she gets respect, because she's done those rooms. She's put her time in doing the crappy one-nighters or the little LA showcase rooms. So, I didn't do tons of shows with Chelsea, but I did enough to where, I knew her and I got what she did, and she kind of went on to do her own thing. But again, I have nothing but respect, because, stand-up comedy is, it's a tough thing.
Well, her career progressed. Yeah, her career progressed, really, 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 really nicely the way it went, and she did earn her spot, and it's great. And I'm happy that the show is doing so well. I wanted to ask you also about the Hangover. You got a small little role in Hangover. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got that?
The Hangover I basically got from doing comedy, stand-up comedy. Todd Phillips, the director, was a fan of my comedy. He would see me do stand-up around L.A., mostly shows with Zach Galifianakis, one of the stars of the movie. I was friendly with Zach, so Zach would do shows, I'd host a show, or I would do a spot, and we would end up riffing off each other during the show. So I got to be highlighted a lot during Zach's shows. So Todd was out, looking for funny people, I guess, maybe, or just checking out the LA scene, and this is before the Hangover and all that. And I knew he liked my comedy. Like, people said, hey, Brody, Todd thinks you're funny. So, and they wanted to actually meet with me, have a meeting, just a general meeting, and see what's going on, any ideas, which I didn't have. But at that point, I knew that Todd liked me, so kind of kept doing my own thing, doing comedy. Maybe I was working at Chelsea then. I might have still been at Best. I think I was probably at Chelsea still at that point. So just kept doing it, and, they contacted me because I knew they were doing this movie, and I knew Zach was in the movie. So I got a call, and they asked me to audition for The Hangover. So I went to Warner Brothers, and I auditioned. And I met Todd before, like once maybe or twice, so I kind of knew him, but not really. And he was there on the audition, and I read for one of the henchmen. So I read for a henchman part. And I read it for it okay. I studied up on it as much as I could, and I thought I did pretty good on it. And he was telling me in the middle of the interview, he said, nice job. He goes, I really want to put you in this movie. He says, let me have you read this other part, so with the doctor part. So he actually gave me some time to prepare for it, like 15, 20 minutes. He had me work with the casting girl there. So he told me right before, he said, I want to put you in this movie. He thinks I'm funny, which I knew. So this is being myself. And then I did I'm not a great actor yet. I'm still, believe me, I've got a lot more to develop. And, I'm just starting if I even continue to do this thing. So anyway, I go in there and I do the second round of the audition there, the doctor part. And it was okay. And then Todd said, thanks, everything was cool. And I left feeling all right, like I did, I did all right. But he wasn't as excited when I left as he was in the middle. So I kind of felt, you never know. Because I've done these auditions before. But it's not that I auditioned that much, only because I do a lot of warm-up. That's one sacrifice you give up, is auditioning, because the warm-up, you can't be late. You got to be funny. You got to, be put together. And if you're auditioning and you're running around town and you're stressed out, it's like, can't do that. So it's like I give it up auditioning. So, but certain auditions I'll do. So the Hangover movie, I'll do it. So I did the doctor part, and I left. And then they called me like a week later, and they offered me a totally different part. They offered me the cop. So that was cool. So they offered me that cop role, and the rest, as they say, is history.
I think there's rumors that there is going to be a sequel, and do you think you're going to be a part of that, do you think? Or have you said anything yet?
I think the sequel right now technically is on hold, but that doesn't mean anything. Todd's next movie, I'm doing that. I'm in that. It's called Due Date. It's a road trip movie. Zach is in it, Robert Downey Jr., Jamie Foxx. Todd Phillips is directing. I play a limousine driver. It's a small part, but I shoot that next week. In fact, they may be in Vegas right now as we're doing this interview, or in Grand Canyon, right around there. It's a road trip movie. It's called Due Date. So they're shooting cross country, and I play a limousine driver. So that's the next one. That's not the sequel, but it's a Todd Phillips movie.
Are they expecting that to be out next summer, or probably the following summer?
Yeah, it'll be like what The Hangover was. I mean, obviously not as. I mean, it's probably not going to make as much money. I mean, The Hangover, was an amazing, once-in-a-lifetime thing in terms of box office and all that.
Well, that's awesome. And you had mentioned earlier about working on The Man Show. That must have been a lot of fun. I love that show. Yeah, I enjoyed The Man Show. I worked the final season with Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope. I didn't work the Kimmel and Parola years, but I worked that final year, and that was another thing that, Joe Rogan liked my stand-up, Doug Stanhope liked my stand-up, and I was doing warm-up at that point at Best Damn Sports Show. So they said, hey, look, they like my stand-up, they like me, boom. And they knew that I could do warm-up. So that's how I got that gig, and that was about 24 shows we did, so for a few months. And that was kind of fun, cute girls, obviously, and big, crazy crowds. And, it only was that one final season, but it was a good experience. And I got to, the thing is, you just get to meet all these people. It's a Comedy Central show, so you work on that show, Comedy Central. Then you work at another show, Comedy Central. And you meet people. You just keep doing it. As a comedian, you just, work on being funny. Audience warm up, do a good job. Be funny, do a good job. And show up on time, add to the show, help out. Don't be in the way, but, you can keep working. That's why I always tell the guys, just be funny. Be funny and be patient. That brings me to a question I ask a lot of my comedians. Have you ever bombed, and if you have you learned from the experience?
Well, yeah, I've had bad sets. I haven't really bombed so much lately in the last few years, I would say, but I've definitely had sets that weren't as fun, or I had moments in the set. Yeah, you learn from it. You learn from anywhere from your preparation ahead of time. You know, sometimes you don't have a great set, and you go, you know what? You know why? I didn't eat before. That's why. Oh, I didn't have a great set. You know why? You started off being aggressive. Oh, I had a bad set. You know why? Oh, I didn't do that joke. So, you know, taping your sets is very important, I think. You know, I've gotten away from it, but actually I'm starting to take my sets again more, so definitely learn from that. Yeah, you learn from bad, you learn from bad moments. I definitely take elements from doing the audience warm-up. I mean, I have to be careful. You can't really bomb. You can do, actually you can bomb. You don't want to be too funny. That's the thing with audience warm-up. You don't want to be too funny. It's not your show. They're not there to see the audience warm-up guy. They're there to see the rest of the show in their heads. But you obviously you have pride and you're human. You want to get laughs. So you got to find that balance to where that's why I'm able to work on these different audience shows, these different shows, or where I'm an alternative guy. I won't do that show. Or I'm a sports guy. I won't do an alternative show. Or I'm an alternative guy. I won't do a black show. It's like if you really own who you are and able to be who you are, you can work these different shows and adjust. You know, it's like I work at Chelsea. I do a good job there. She's obviously the funny one. She's the one to get the attention of the other guys on the show. But I walk out of there knowing that the audience thinks I'm funny, and I did my job, and I satisfied that muscle. Now, did I rock and crush and kill? No, it's not my job. But I know I could, so that's how I'm able to, like, it's not like, oh, I'm funnier than this. I should be on this show. You can't go in with that attitude when you work on these shows. Oh, I should be on camera. Well, you're not. You know, it's like, that will all happen. Look, I'm doing movies now. That's what I tell people. I'm doing movies just by being funny, by being patient, not complaining, you know. I'll complain when it's comedy-related about stuff, but I won't complain about, oh, why are you keeping us here so late? Why are you doing that? Oh, do I got to, you know, it's like, that's where baseball comes into play. I'll grind. I mean, I've worked, like I said, 1,600 TV shows altogether. That's a grind. That's like, you know, baseball season. Way more than that. But that's where it teaches you that discipline. You got to be a machine, a robot. These shows just don't run on their own. You got to actually bring something to it. So I'm lucky I got a gig. Believe me. I'm lucky, thankful. Am I rambling, or am I hitting the right point?
No, you're making the right points at all, and the idea that you work with a lot of people along the line, and you never know who you're going to talk to that's going to help you out in your career, or you know somebody that knows somebody, you know. So it's always nice to keep something positive and to be able to not be an asshole to everybody, and to be able to generate that positive feeling like, oh, this guy is a great guy, you know. I saw him in a club, or it's a friend of a friend, and I saw him in a comedy club. He sounds funny. You know, those opportunities come by to you. So, you know, keep that positive energy going and work your butt off, and you can make it.
Yeah, that's what I say to the guys. It's like it might take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. May not ever happen. But you don't go in, as a comedian, you don't go in trying to be on TV or trying to make money or trying to get that house or trying to make that movie. You're just trying to be funny. That's what I say. See where that takes you.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to mention that you guys can, if you guys ever go to a Chelsea taping, Brody's a warm-up guy. He's a really funny guy as well. And the Hangover is coming out December the 4th. And this new movie due date, you said it's been coming out this coming summer, right?
Yeah. It could be like when the Hangover came out in June. This will probably be a June release. Yeah. So I got that coming up.
Yeah. Is there any other dates that you're going to be doing outside of Chelsea?
Nothing on the books right now. You know, that's another thing. People ask me to do. I get asked to do some shows here and there. But I'm from Los Angeles. I grew up out here, and you know, my friend is a coach of the Dodgers. I'm able to do Dodger functions. And then my mother lives out in Palm Springs, and I like to go out there, try to go out there once a week. So, to be honest, like the last year or two, and maybe even the next 3 years down the road, I just kind of like doing the warm-up, keeping me in town, and, you know, like doing family stuff. But I wouldn't mind eventually, going out on tour and really, like, going for it. But I think that's not going to happen. If it does, then for another year or two. I just have a unique situation. I think being here from Los Angeles and having the roots that I have here in Los Angeles, that's why I'm able to do warm up and do these things. And